So now I'm up top and I've got all four sides. These sides have all been screwed together. So what I'm doing is I'm just cantilevering the handrails, the 2x6s across the top, by just spinning them away from being in the corners. These have been put together pretty tight. I've got a screw in both corners. What I do is I put one up towards the top, and then on the other side I put that screw a little bit more towards the bottom so they crisscross each other. So I've got all four sides screwed together now, and so the next step is going to be I'm just going to spin the whole thing, and once I spin it I'll actually secure through the pickets. I'll drill holes through the pickets and through that 2x4. I don't know what this is technically called. It's not the handrail as far as I would say. This would be the handrail because it's going to be on top, but I'll screw through this and into the underside, and the top of this 2x6 will not have any screw holes in it. Just gives it a real nice clean look, and you won't have issues with rot where the rainwater sits in the screw head countersinks when you pull the screws in. So I'm gonna spin the whole thing and start securing. That's next. So now I've got the whole top rail spun 90 degrees. I've got this evenly spaced, so all you do is just go back and forth a little bit, figure out what the depth is here. I just want the small amount of depth on the inside, so I'm not taking away from the space of the inside of the actual, it's kind of like a deck with the Playhouse here. So I measured these on purpose and cut all these boards, the inside corners of these boards I cut ½ an inch shorter than the total distance on the inside on both ends. So really I made them an inch shorter in total, ½ an inch on each side of this board. So I believe these were 117 inches on the inside. The 2x4 underneath was 117 inches long. So I cut these from inside corner to inside corner to 116. So that gives me, it goes about a ½ inch all the way around. It's a little bit off, but that's all right. I've got them evenly spaced now all the way around, and so the way that works is I'll just come underneath on the corners and screw them in, and then what I'll do is I'll take whatever the measurement is here. So for the ½ inch here, I'll make sure that I'm at a ½ inch all the way down. So if this board underneath has bowed, I'll either push it in or pull it out to make it to that distance, so that from the corner all the way across to the other corner on each of these boards, and from this corner all the way across, I can already tell this is at a certain depth here, and this is almost flush. So I know that this board is in because I know that these 2x6s are straight. So from one end to the other on this 2x4, it's probably bowed in a little bit. That could just be from having the pickets pull it in. Not sure if you can really tell from here. Maybe a little bit. It looks like it might be a little bit bowed out. Actually bowed in the middle. So it's further out here and closer here. So on this one, I'll just push this 2x4 out to the same distance that I have from the end here, and just make it parallel all the way down the other side. To do that, I'll use my extension ladder on the outside and just bring the extension ladder over to the corner. And then what I'll do is I'll come up underneath this corner here, and I'm gonna go through this picket right here. I'll pre-drill a hole, and I'll go at an angle through this picket and into the bottom of this 2x6, so that I know that that end of the screw, and I'm using 3-inch screws, the end of that screw is not going to come out over the top. And then I'll switch over to the other side and I'll go through this picket right here and go diagonal up into the other side of that, the other 2x6 corner. So that's the plan. I don't put the handrails on one at a time sitting like this because of the way that I'm gapping this. If you look, say this is 3/8 here, so on the other side to the picket it's 2 1/4. So the handrail, the meat of the handrail sits on the outside, and if I'm holding this board and trying to get it screwed into place while I'm holding it, what could happen is I'll push the board out a little bit and it's going to want to fall off. And from 10 feet up I don't want to drop these boards. So you can see this board is flush at the bottom, but at the top it's the corner's a little long, so I'm just going to sand that. That's not a problem. The this 2x6 is from a different tree, from a different cut. They are not the same width. These are both cut at 45, so for them not to meet up means that this is this board is actually wider. So if it's 5 5/8, almost 5 3/4, and the other is 5 1/2, that's where the difference ends up coming out on that thickness there, but not a big deal. So the next thing is just securing the 2x6 all the way around. I'll probably do one in each of these on the ends here, and then about every 2 feet all the way down across all 10 feet. I'll just do that all the way around, and the handrails will be done. So then the last thing to do on the Playhouse will be finishing up the stairs, so that I don't have to use the ladder anymore. And like I said before, for right now I don't really care where this 2x6 is at. We're just coming up through the hole here with the ladder. That's temporary, but eventually I'll come over here wherever the width of the stairs lines up, and I'll cut this 2x4 out from underneath evenly in the middle on both sides, and then give a little bit of an overhang, maybe about the same width here. I'll do an overhang over the end of that 2x4 and just cut this off straight. So this will be open through the middle down to the stairs in the end. But for now we can use it, so it's cool. And that's that for this video.